Good morning, one and all. Today, our topic is ratings of thyristors. Every power semiconductor device has a limited capability of handling the power, that is, voltage and current. Basically, it depends upon the temperature withstand capacity of PN junctions during steady state and dynamic conditions. After complete testing a particular device, the manufacturer prepared the device specifications. It specifies critical values of different parameters and the safety or safely operating regions of the device. SCR ratings are classified into following types depending on conditions. They are continuous rating, repetitive rating, and non-repetitive are also called surge rating. Continuous rating. These ratings are related with the continuous working condition of the device. It is expressed in terms of average or RMS values depending upon whether the device is operating with unilateral or bilateral voltages. Then coming to the repetitive rating, this rating is useful when the device is switched on periodically. And the third type is non-repetitive. A such rating corresponding to maximum permissible non-repetitive current and peak voltage which the device can withstand during a surge. During this condition, the junction temperature exceeds the permissible value for a short time only. The SCR ratings are anode voltage rating, current rating, power rating, dV by dt rating, di by dt rating, turn on and turn off times, latching and holding currents. Temperature ratings. The above ratings will be specified by the manufacturer of the SCR. Anode voltage rating. The anode voltage rating indicates the value of maximum voltage that can be applied across the device without causing any break at the junction area. An SCR is made up of 4 layers and 3 junctions. The middle junction J2 blocks the forward voltage, and the two end junctions J1 and J3 blocks the reverse voltage. The anode voltage rating indicates the value of maximum voltage that can be applied across the device without causing any breakdown at junction area. Then coming to the current ratings. There are different current ratings established with a repetitive and a non-repetitive waveforms of current. Should not rise the thyristor temperature rapidly, even for short overloads of currents. If the junction temperature increases rapidly, the thyristor will be damaged. Hence, the operating current should be within the limits of the satisfactory. The thyristor junction temperature rises rapidly even for short overloads of currents. Hence, the heat is developed and dissipated in the form of power. For satisfactory operation of thyristor junction temperature under steady state condition should not exceed the safe value, which is around 125 degrees centigrade. There are different current ratings established with repetitive and non-repetitive waveforms of currents, namely average current rating, RMS current rating, surge current rating, I square T timings ratings, di by dt ratings. Turn on time. After triggering the thyristor, it does not conduct instantaneously but takes finite time to reach full condition. This time is called turn on time, also called the time taken by the thyristor to reach full conduction state is called turn on time. Turn on time consists two parts, namely delay time Td and rise time Tr. Delay time will reach up to 90% and remaining 10% is rise time. You can see the turn on characteristics of an SCR. The anode current and gate current. When anode current reaches to 90% of a full load current, the time taken to reach 90% of the current is called delay time. Means 50% of mostly. After that, it takes some more time to reach 90% of the maximum current. That time is called rise time. Addition of these two currents will reaches to 90% of the full load value. That time is called turn on time characteristics. Turn on time includes delay time plus rise times. Generally, the turn on time of an SCR lies between 2 to 10 microseconds. dV by dt rating. Before that, it indicates the maximum rate of rise of voltage from anode to cathode without any harm to the device. Then coming to the di by dt, it indicates maximum rate of rise of current from anode to cathode without any harm to the device. Then turn off time. Coming to the definition of turn off time. It is defined as the time required from zero current point to the time when the thyristor regains its full blocking voltage in positive direction after the application of reverse voltage. I'm repeating one more time. It is defined as time required from the zero current point to the time when the thyristor regains its full blocking voltage in positive direction after the application of reverse voltage. It mainly consists time for reverse recovery current flows after the application of reverse voltage. The time for recombination of all excess carriers in the inner two layers of the device. The turn-off time is the addition of reverse recovery time TRR plus combination time TR. Generally, the turn-off time of SCR lies between 50 to 200 microseconds. Circuit turn-off time must be greater than device turn-off time for safe turn-off. This is turn-off characteristics of an SCR. It's the addition of TRR plus TR. Generally, this is in the range of 250 to 200 microseconds. Always this turn-off time is greater than turn-on times. The thyristor junction temperature rises rapidly even for short overloads of currents. Hence, heat is developed and dissipated in the form of power. For satisfactory operation of thyristor, the junction temperature under steady state condition should not exceed the value of usually around 125 degrees centigrades. For reliable operation of the thyristors should operate within specified limits. These safe limits are called thyristor ratings. Turn-on timings of thyristor is of the order of 2 to 10 microseconds. Turn-off time of thyristor is of the order of 50 to 200 microseconds. Always the turn-off time is greater than turn-on time. Latching current of thyristor. This is the rating of current below which the SCR cannot be turned on even the gate signal is applied. That means this much anode current must be raised to turn on the device. The gate pulse must be continuous until anode current is greater or equal to latching current of thyristor. Otherwise, the device will fail to be turned on. Holding current of thyristor. This is the rating of current below which anode current must fall to turn off the device. A gate turn-off SCR is also called GTO. He is a member of thyristor family. It is a three-terminal anode, cathode, and gate. 4-layer PNPN device. It can be turned on by positive gate pulse like SCR and turned off by a high amplitude negative pulse. Hence, GTO eliminates the need of force commutation. On this completion of this video lesson, you would be able to know that constructional details of GTO ACR, turn off action, structure of GTO ACR, VI characteristics of GTO ACR. Coming to the advantages and disadvantages of SCR, GTO ACR, applications of GTO ACR, and comparison between GTO ACR and SCR are going to be studied now in this video lessons. Please see, this is the symbol of GTO ACR. Anode, cathode, and gate, and anode, cathode, and gate. You can see where gate, two-way directions are there. It can be turned on and it can be turned off by gate signals. It has a 3-terminal anode, cathode, and gate. GTO ACR is turned on by applying a short pulse gate pulse, short positive gate pulse. It can be turned off by high amplitude negative gate pulse. It is a 4-layer 3-terminal device. It is a PNPN device with 3 terminals, namely anode, cathode, and gate. It can be turned off by applying negative gate pulse. It can be turned on by positive gate pulse. No forced commutation is required for GTO. Turn off action of GTO ACR. When a positive signal is applied, a GTO switches into conduction state like an ordinary SCR. In ordinary thyristors, the current gains of 2 transistors, NPN transistor and PNP transistors, are very high, so that gate sensitivity for turn-on thyristor is high, and hence the on-state voltage drop is low. But in case of GTO ACR, the current gain of PNP transistor is low, so that turn off is possible if sufficient current is drawn from the gate. When a negative gate signal is applied, the excess carriers are drawn from the base of the NPN transistors, and collector current of PNP transistor is diverted to the gate. Thus, the base driven of NPN transistor is removed, and this in turn removes the base drive of PNP transistor, and turn off is achieved. The current gain of PNP transistor is low, If gate signal is negative, excess carriers are drawn from the base region of the NPN transistor and the collector current PNP transistor is diverted to the gate. Base drive of NPN transistor is removed, which is in turn removes the base drive of PNP transistor. Turn off is achieved. The structure of GTO SCR looks like this: anode, cathode, and gate. Basically, it's a PN-PN structure. This type of structure has simultaneous turn on and turn off operation. Reduction of gain of PNP transistor is obtained by introduction of anode to N base short circuiting spots. This structure has low on-state voltage and the ability to block reverse voltage is poor. Large GTOs have interdigital gate cathode structure in which the cathode emitter consists of many parallel connected N-type fingers diffused into P-type gate regions. This is the VI characteristics of GTO SCR, and this is the first graph drawn without gate current is equal to 0, and this is with some gate current. Those characteristics are lies between first quadrant and the third quadrant. On x-axis voltage will be taken and y-axis anode current will be taken. It has large value of latching current, approximately 2 amperes. If gate current is not able to turn on the GTO SCR, then it's behave like a high voltage, low gain transistor. It has low power loss, small size and less weight, high efficiency, no need for commutation circuit, fast switching speed, lesser noise due to elimination of commutation, high withstanding capability for such currents. And coming to the disadvantages of the GTO SCR, high gate current is required, high magnitude of latching and holding currents, high gate circuit losses, high on-state voltage drop, lower reverse voltage blocking capability. And coming to the applications of the GTO SCR, used in electric tractions, because of lesser weights, used in adjustable frequency inverter drives, used for rolling mills, used for machine tools, and also used in robotics. And GTOs are available up to 25 kilowatts, 1400 amperes. Next, we will see the comparison between GTO SCR and normal SCR. Efficiency. GTO SCR is high. Regular SCR is low. Noise. GTO SCR is a less noise. SCR is high noise. Gate current. High gate currents are required in G2 ACR. Low gate current is required in ACR compared to the G2 ACR. Size and weight. Small size in G2 ACR. Compared to the G2 ACR, regular ACR is larger in size. And G2 ACR is fast switching speed. And ACR is compared to G2 ACR. ACR switching speed is low. And GTO ACR is no need of commutation circuit for turn off. When coming to the ACR, it requires commutation circuit for turn off. Coming to the GTO ACR, more di by dt rating at turn on. Then coming to the SCR, less di by dt rating at turn on. And GTO ACR is higher values of latching and holding currents. Then regular SCR is lesser value of latching current and holding currents. And finally, GTO ACR is higher gate circuit losses and regular ACR is less loss in gate circuits. The summary for only GTO ACR is no forced commutation circuit is required to turn off the GTO ACR. It is a fast switching speed, higher gate circuit losses, current gain of PNP transistor is low, and advantages, disadvantages, and applications. Next, I am going to discuss about DIAC. What is DIAC? What are the characteristics? What is VA characteristics? And what are the applications of a DIAC? The word DIAC is diode that can work on AC. It is a two-terminal device which can conduct in either direction. Hence, it is called bidirectional device. The figure shows cross-sectional view of a DIAC. It consists of 4-layer PNPN transistor and PNPN dash, and has two terminals T1 and T2. These terminals T1 and T2 are connected to P region of silicons separated by N region. The symbol of DIAC is shown here. When the terminal T1 is positive with respect to T2, the layers PN starts conducting. When voltage of T1 is more than breakover voltage VBO1, once the conduction starts, the current through the DIAC becomes very large and is limited by external resistance in the circuit. When the terminal T2 is positive with respect to terminal T1, the layers PN dash starts conducting when the voltage of T2 is more than breakover voltage VBO2. In both cases, the current during blocking regions are very small and are called as leakage currents. Generally, the breakover voltage of diac is about 30 to 50 volts and voltage drop is across the device is about 3 to 5 volts. As compared to triac, the operating characteristics of diac is similar, but it has no gate terminals. Hence, it is also called as gateless triac. Diac is also called as gateless triac. It consists of 4 layers and 2 terminals. PNPN layers will conduct during forward bias, means PNPN like this. PNPN dash layer will conduct during reverse bias. PNPN dash in reverse bias. It can work on alternating current. It is a bidirectional device. VT1 is greater than breakover voltage. PNPN conducts in forward direction. And the VT terminal 2 is greater than breakover voltage 2. PNPN dash conducts in reverse bias. Both the cases current in the blocking region is small. Sorry. And this is the VI characteristics. It looks symmetrical between quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. This stage is called blocking region, and this is forward breakover voltage. This is reverse breakover voltage, and this is conduction region during positive off cycle, and this is breakover voltage in negative side, and this is negative off cycle conduction region. Its breakover voltage is less than between 30 to 50 volts. When conducting, it acts like a low resistance about 3 to 3 volts across it. When not conducting, it's like an open switch. A diac, sometimes called a gateless triac. Coming to the applications, it is used as a triggering for triac, light dimming, heat control, universal motor speed control, or the example applications of diac. Coming to the VI characteristics, during forward bias, the terminal T1 is positive with respect to T2, and if the voltage applied is less than VBO1, causes a small leakage current flows through the device. When the voltage exceeds VBO1, it starts conducting and current becomes very large. As the current increases, the voltage drop across the diac decreases. Hence, it exhibits negative resistance characteristics. Thus, the characteristics lies in the first region, first quadrant. During reverse bias, the terminal T2 positive with respect to T1, and if applied voltage is less than VB2, it starts conducting, means during this session. When the voltage exceeds VBO2, it starts conducting. The characteristics are very similar to the forward bias operation, but reverse bias characteristics lies in third quadrant. It is observed that the diac during non-conducting period acts like a open switch and offers high resistance. Now we have studied construction, operating modes, VI characteristics, and applications of DIAC. Next, I am going to explain about TRIAC. The major drawback of an SCR is that it can conduct current in one direction only. Hence, SCR can control DC power forward bias of cycle of AC. However, in an AC systems, it is very necessary to control over both positive and negative of cycle. For this purpose, a semiconductor device called TRIAC is used. It is a combination of two SCRs connected in anti-parallel. During this video lessons, we'll discuss about constructional details, cross-sectional view, VI characteristics, advantages and disadvantages, and applications of an TRIAC. The word TRIAC is obtained and that can work on AC. It is a three-terminal device which can conduct in both the directions. Hence, it is called bidirectional device. It consists of 4 layers, 3 terminals, T1, T2, and gate. The gate terminal is near the T1 terminal. The terminal T1 makes contact with layers N2, T2. Terminal T2 makes contacts with layers P1, N4, and gate terminal makes contacts with N3, P2. This configuration is necessary for conducting the TRIAC in both directions and also for giving triggering pulse to the gate terminals, which is either positive or negative with respect to T1. Since TRIAC is a bidirectional device, the operating characteristics are similar in the first and third quadrant. If gate signal is not applied, the track breakover voltages are VBO1 and VBO2, and if the gate current is increased, the breakover voltage is reduced. It is a 4-layer, 3-terminal device. The terminals are T1, T2, and G. The terminal T1 makes contacts with the layer N2 and P2. The terminal T2 makes contacts with the layers P1 and N4. The gate terminals makes contacts with layer N3 and P2. The triac can operate either positive or negative control voltage, but its normal operation, the gate voltage is positive in the first quadrant and negative in the third quadrant. The supply voltage at which triac is turned on depends on gate current. If gate signal is not applied, the triac breakover voltages VBO1 and VBO2. If gate signal is applied, the breakover voltage reduces. Sorry. These are the V8 characteristics of triac. Triac is turned on in each of cycles by applying a positive or negative to the with respect to T1 terminals. As the triac can conduct in both the directions, the terms anode, cathode are not applicable to triac. Its 3 terminals are usually designated as terminal T1, terminal T2, and gate G. When the applied voltage is less than breakover voltages VBO1 and VBO2 and gate signal is not applied, then triac is in blocking state for both directions. The triac can be turned on in each cycle of the applied voltage by applying a positive or negative voltage to the gate with respect to terminal T1. The first quadrant characteristics is just like SCR, but the third quadrant characteristics of triac is identical to first quadrant, except that as the polarity of the main terminal changes, causes the direction of current also changes. The VI characteristics of triac in the first and third quadrants are identical to those of SCR in first quadrant. The triac can be operated with either positive or negative control voltage, but in normal operation. Usually, the gate voltage is positive in quadrant 1 and gate voltage is negative in quadrant 3. The supply voltage at which the triac is turned on depends upon the gate current. The triac turn on voltage decreases as gate current increases. Coming to the applications of the TRAC. TRACs are used in speed control of single phase induction motors as well as series motors, temperature control, liquid level control, phase control circuits, illumination level controls, power switches are the applications of the TRAC. Till now we have studied about construction of details of TRAC, cross-sectional view of the TRAC, VA characteristics in first quadrant, and applications of TRACs.